So it's definitely been a while since we did a Raspberry Pi project, so here we are. Today we are creating a Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi Ethernet bridge. So let's get started. So there are so many use case scenarios that you could use this Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi Ethernet bridge that I can't even name them all. But for some context, if you have like a printer that's Ethernet enabled, or you have devices that only has Ethernet, you can essentially give Wi-Fi to them just by using this technique. Now, if you follow up with my other tutorial where you could turn your Raspberry Pi into a USB host, now you have double options. You could plug something into USB and share that way, and also share the Ethernet. So there's so many use cases with that as well. Now, if you live in an apartment building or you're renting a property where they only offer Wi-Fi, but you need Ethernet for certain devices, you can do this as well. Just plug the Ethernet into a switch or a hub, and you could actually have more than one port. Or in my case, my neighborhood actually has Optimum Wi-Fi. I can actually connect Optimum Wi-Fi through the Raspberry Pi and use that as my internet source instead of having a router. Like, there's just so many different use case scenario. Now, you can also use this on a Raspberry Pi 2, Raspberry Pi 3, or Raspberry Pi 4. Now, obviously, depending on the speed that you want, the Raspberry Pi 2 only offers 10 megabytes on their Ethernet port. Raspberry Pi 3 only offers 300 megabytes because it's not a true gigabit. And then Raspberry Pi 4 has gigabit. So it really depends on the speed that you have and the speed that you're going for and what your Wi-Fi speed is, depending on what you want to use. You could use the Raspberry Pi 3. I think that would be the most comfortable if you're going to do this type of technique. Now, what I've been using it for is actually for my shed, because I plan to move devices over to my shed that only has Ethernet enabled. So I did plug in a Raspberry Pi into my shed where the solar setup is. Also collecting data, because it is collecting a lot of solar data through Bluetooth, but it also has enabled Ethernet through my shed. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have Raspberry Pi Imager. And I gotta say, I really love Manjaro. I've been using it a lot recently, so it's gonna be a desktop I'm gonna be reviewing soon. Back to the desktop, we're gonna look for Imager, which I already pre-installed. And to do this project, we don't need a desktop or anything. You can use one if you want to, but we're gonna keep this as minimal as possible. So I'm just gonna choose the OS, go to Other, and choose the light version. Is it light? Yeah, this one. Light version of Raspberry Pi OS. Now, make sure you go through all the settings, because you do want to be able to access this and connect to Wi-Fi so you don't have to do this later. So I'm going to change this name to RPi ETH. I'm going to have to remember that, because if you got a firewall or router that's good enough, you should be able to pick that up, no problem. Remember to enable SSH, set up the password, use password authentication. So one thing about KDE or Plasma Mobile is the scroll is really messed up. So I'm not a huge fan of the scroll right now. I do got to fix it. Every time it goes into Hibernate and comes back, my scroll's all messed up again. So I'll look into that later. So I'm just going to use the default password as Pi and password as Raspberry. My SSID and Wi-Fi is configured. I'll also remember to change this if you're in somewhere else. I feel like it doesn't work on these weird ones. Well, maybe it does, but I can't even type in here. Maybe I could type just like here. Yeah, US. There you go. Set local settings. That is about it. Just save that. Choose your storage. You could use anything. I'm going to use a 32 gigabyte storage, but you can use 8 gigabytes if you want. It's just a minimal install of Raspberry Pi. Once you hit right, burn everything onto the SD card. And that's all you really need. While we're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to show you the tutorial that we're going to be using. And I think I have it in my history. And I'll leave a link to this website where he has a script to actually start everything and make everything work easily. So what's going on is we're basically building the same thing, a Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi Ethernet bridge. And you're basically connecting the internet using the Wi-Fi and turning your Ethernet into something that you could use. Now, there are two ways to do this. There's option 1, which is the same subnet, option 2, where it's a separate subnet. Let me explain both of them, because they both have different reasons for existing or usability. So if you're going to connect the Raspberry Pi to your home network or home router, and your firewall could issue IP addresses, so it means you can actually stay on the same subnet even though you connect it. So your Raspberry Pi won't be doing anything other than bridging the connection. So any device connected to the Ethernet of your Raspberry Pi will still have the same IP scheme or the subnet of your main house. So if it's 192.168, you will still have 192.168, etc., etc. Now, this works very well if you're using a home environment network or anywhere else that you know that you could trust the firewall to issue out DHCP or IP addresses. Now, the reason why you would use Option number 2, this essentially turns your Raspberry Pi into a DHCP server, which means your Raspberry Pi will be connected to something via Wi-Fi, and it'll have that one IP connection, so one device is connected. Whatever gets plugged into the Ethernet will have a different IP address scheme, so it basically have its own separate subnet. So it would be like a 10 dot IP address, so 10.0 dot whatever, right? Completely separate from your home network. The reason why I would use this is, say you're connected to a hotel, but you need Ethernet connection. The hotel only allows you to have one device connected at one time. This is when you would use that condition. You would create a separate subnet, so it only looks like it's only one device connected to the hotel, but you have 5 or 6 other devices Ethernet plugged into it, to the Raspberry Pi if you got like a hub or something connected. So that's the condition you would use this in, but either way works depending on what your scenario is. So by now everything should be done. Oh, almost done. I'm not using a really fast writer, so it's almost done. But yeah, depending on what you want. Now I'm going to be using the second option, just because I used the first option already on my other setup. The only main difference between the first one and the second one is that you don't have to create a startup service. It's one less file to create, basically. All right, now that this is done, I'm just going to cancel verify and then plop this into my Raspberry Pi and SSH into it. All right, there you go. I got my RPi ETH. That's how I'm hitting it. I don't even know the IP address. I'm just using the DHCP server. Yes, and Raspberry was the password I made for this. First, let's find out what my IP address is. Oh, 127. Okay, that's not too bad. And next, we're going to follow the tutorial, or copy and paste, basically what this says. So he turned this into a quick little script, and you could just copy the entire thing, like so. And then, while I have that in my clipboard, I could just do nano. And you can name this file whatever. He named it bridge.sh. So I'm going to name the same thing, bridge.sh. And right click to paste everything here. And there you have your little script. So you could just leave this now. Control X to save, yes. And then we'll close this out. And now I could just run this script with sudo bash bridge.sh. It's going to grab everything it needs, updates, packages, programs, and then create the script for you. And basically, when this script is done running, you are ready to restart. Now, while that is running, I'm going to explain the script to you just a little. In here, if you're going to plan to use this for another device, not Raspberry Pi, sometimes this might be called something else. Etho0 might be called ENS18 or something like that. You just have to go in and change those names. So especially if you're going to use an external USB Wi-Fi device for better range, it might not be called WLAN 0. It might be called WLAN 1 or something else. You just have to respectfully rename those areas in this script, and you should be able to run the script and get those working as well. Again, just remember, it's just a different name for Etho0. It could be ENS, it could be Etho1. Wi-Fi could be WLAN 1, or it could be completely something different, ANS. Anything that looks different. And to grab those, you basically do what I just did to grab the IP address. IP space ADDR, and that will be able to give you all your device names. So now that this is done, which only took like about a minute, I could do a reboot, sudo reboot. I'll be able to drop back into here because it's still connected through Wi-Fi. So now I'm just going to go back into it, SSH back in there, IP ADDR. Everything looks normal. But now if I plug in a device, it should be able to grab the IP address of 10.1.1.2 or something like that. So I'm going to hop in the device just to show you guys. Actually, this computer, I'm going to plug in an Ethernet from this computer to the Raspberry Pi, and I should get a different IP address. So here we go. I'm going to drop out of this because I'm going to lose connection to this. Clear. IP ADDR for my main desktop should be right here. 241 ENS 7S0. 241 is my IP address with the 192.168. What I'm going to do is unplug, plug in an Ethernet cable, which is funny. I actually have a tiny one right here, and might work. I'm going to unplug that, pop this into this little device right now. I'm just going to let it hang, and give it a few seconds. There you go. My wired connection just activated, which means it worked. IP ADDR. I have a 10.1.1.98 IP address. And let's ping Google. There you go. This computer now has internet and is going through this Wi-Fi bridge. So there you have it. Obviously, it's going through a Wi-Fi bridge connection, so it's going to have a much slower connection. Regardless, it does work, and I'm able to get devices that don't normally have Wi-Fi to enable Wi-Fi using this method. So before I fully conclude this, let me go into youtube.com Novaspirit Tech. It loads the website like it normally does. And again, I am on this Raspberry Pi device right now. Yeah, I'm getting internet to it like it normally would. That is it, guys. And again, I love this type of build, this Ethernet Wi-Fi bridge, because there are so many applications that you could use for this, so many different possibilities and devices that you could use this with. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you guys have any questions about this, hit me up down in the comments below. And if you guys are new to this channel, consider subscribing and also hit that bell notification icon so you know when the next video is going to be out. And as I say in my nerd cave, hack till it hurts.